o'clock on the dot. It is Friday morning. It is May the 5th, or as everybody likes to say on the social media, it's return, return of the 5th, revenge of the 5th. Hold on. Like, I'm a nerd. Why? I shouldn't mess that up. Anyway, it's Coffee Talk. It's Friday, so nobody's perfect, right? We're just kind of surviving. Top two things we are monitoring this morning. Last dry day. There is a bit of a pattern change coming. We'll be chatting about that. Plus, pattern turning stormy. Yeah, if it's the last dry day, then that would allude to the stormier pattern. But we're going to look ahead as to why. And we'll look at some of the models, long range, all that fun stuff, and just kind of dial into the extended outlook to get you prepared for not just your Friday, but let's face it, the weekend that is here. But before we do that, let's just look outside live and check in on our Tower Cam network. There is a beautiful shot. We're looking from Cocoa across to Merritt Island. Off in the distance is the port. There's a little bit of cloud cover. It is lovely, though, and I hope you're having a great start to the morning. It is indeed a beautiful day. First warning, live Doppler radar scanning, not finding anything. Temperatures are looking good, too. We are at 69 in Orlando right now, 70 degrees in Kissimmee, 66 in Sanford, 73 degrees in New Smyrna Beach, 75 in Melbourne, and lower 60s in places like DeLand, the Villages, Ocala, and Palm Coast. So it is looking great. Yes, Revenge of the 5th. That. Like, why do I mess it up? Anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for hanging out on this lovely forecast. How lovely does it stay today? That lovely. It's going to be beautiful. Here's a look around town today. Partly cloudy skies. We've got 82 for you, 11 o'clock, 85 degrees, our lunchtime temperature, and about 87 for a high. Nice dry weather around. Karen says it is spectacular in Boca. It's always spectacular in Boca. It's a beautiful morning in Florida, right? Today is going to be perfect, Laura says. I would agree with that. So thank you for joining, and a good morning to you. The weekend is almost here. But the weekend does have a bit of a pattern shift. So let's just talk a little bit about where we are, okay? Dry air has been in place. We have been absolutely enjoying the low humidities and all of that fun stuff. The muggy meter, though, gives you an inclination that things are going to change. We do get kind of a little bit of a dry. We're going to be right on the pleasant to comfy border looking ahead to our Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But I do think at some point we're going to transition that humidity up just a little bit. Here's the setup, all right? Today, nice and dry. Notice for tomorrow, we just have enough of an onshore component that we bring in a few showers around. And then that onshore component kind of turns to more of a southeasterly breeze, keeping showers, keeping showers, keeping showers. And so it's not going to be a stormy forecast by any stretch of the imagination, but we are starting a preview of sorts, okay? Just a little inclination of that rainy season. It's not like it's full forcing in, but you can see 20-30% coverage, and we may tick that up a little bit. I've been here long enough to know we'll start with the models saying 20-30%, and then it ends up sneaking up a little bit. So I do think we'll get some showers and storms around the next couple of days. Such is life. No big deal, right? So that is what it is. But for your weekend, of course, that is the important forecast. And I think for both our Saturday and our Sunday, we look good. But into the afternoon, don't be surprised when you get a couple of showers and thunder showers kind of firing on up. All right? All right. With that, I say good morning. And I'm going to pause from just yantering it up about the weather, and we can talk a little bit about what do you want to know about the weather? What do you want to know about life? I may not know it, but at least the group can have a conversation about it, right? Cindy says that hourly forecast looks like a play hooky and go in the pool forecast. I would wholeheartedly agree here. I'll pull up the 12-hour forecast again. I would wholeheartedly agree. My day today, I'm going to be mowing the yard, and then afterward, hopping in that pool. Yeah, that's 100% my game plan today. But look at how gorgeous that is, right? And then into this afternoon, sure, we'll dial up a little bit of rain. It's Florida. That's the way it goes. It's okay. We can handle that. Miriam, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great start to the day. Terry, how are you? Chris says Florida will Florida. Oh yes, Florida will Florida. Yep. A rainy season sneak peek. That's the truth, right? Like that's the truth. And here I'll dial up the 7-day forecast. And no, I'm not like walking away from you. But what you're going to know, I've done this long enough here. Like I could tell you what's going to happen. The 7-day forecast you're going to notice is going to ebb and flow. The models are going to, the models are going to want to go lower rain chance, but the Met's going to want to say it's going to be a little higher. So you'll see more and more mention, at least, of afternoon showers and thunder showers in the forecast for next week. That's just the way it's going to go. All right? But yeah, 92, 93. And with that said, the 92, 93, let's just take a gander at the GFS 15-day extended temperature map, okay? Where does the GFS say we're going to go? If you remember yesterday, it was saying 100 degrees, 101 degrees toward the end. Still kind of hinting at that. Now, do I think that we're going to get, do I think seriously that we're going to be getting to, 100, 99? I mean, it's 97. It's possible. You notice the days, it's still showing the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, like in that window, that's where it has been saying it. I always say computer models are guidance, not gospel. And this is precisely why I say that, right? Because they get a little nutty. Insane in the membrane, insane in the brain, insane in the membrane. I know the song. Anyway, funny. So we'll see how that plays out. You can tell that I didn't build it, by the way, nerd thing. So I grouped them to auto space. But you could tell that I didn't build it to do triple digit heat because you see how there's not much gap in any of these panels. And then there's these big gaps around the 100. It's because I built the graphic for ease that way. But now that there's wider text, you can see I didn't build it for the wider text. So, I mean, this is a beta, like it's not perfect. It's not a perfect graphic, but so I've got some work to do on it to clean it up, but that's definitely something I'm going to have to do. But LOL, the model's still saying 100-degree heat. So there's that. Again, I don't think that that's going to play out, which is fine with me. Totally fine with me. With less wind, though, a lot of you have been asking about it. With less wind here, you're going to have to find another excuse for the golf game. A nice breeze, and you could probably still say that, but it's not gusty like it was a few days ago. So if you're looking for an excuse for the golf game, just for what it's worth, keep that in mind. All right. Brian over in Citra, good morning to you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Cindy's asking, how's Alexander feeling today? Good, totally good. 24 hours fever-free. No more vomiting yesterday. So, yeah, he's back at school. All good things. I'm back from New York City. I love our weather much better. Jenny, welcome back. Yeah, New York City's fun to visit. Fun to come home. I had a moment where I was entertaining a move to New York City for work a couple of years ago. I didn't go. I'm still here with you. But you have to entertain these things. So, but everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen, and I'm grateful for it. So anyway, there's that. Janet Judy Peck, good morning, good morning. Making the drive tomorrow, Frank says, very cool. Janice says, Florida has its own brand of weather. Yeah, it does. It does, and it's a little crazy. Cindy's asking if the GFS is still drunk. Oh, yeah. Now, another thing to point out, I've shown you the GFS comedy that is the temperatures. But remember, the GFS is more than just temperatures. It gets into rain and all of that fun stuff. So while we're looking at this and making fun of this, it's also important to note that, like, we're in May, which means hurricane season is approaching, which means that the GFS likes to get a little feisty. So let's do this. Let's look at the GFS. If I can hit the right button. Why you were working? Why are you such a putz? There you go. All right. So let's look at the GFS. I'm like, you were working just before coffee talk. So this is the GFS computer forecast model. And what we're looking at, and if you follow us during hurricane season, we do this a lot. This is the normalized anomaly. This is kind of, think of it as like an X-ray of pressures in the atmosphere. All right, this is the most recent run, 6Z run, came out this morning. Ba, 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 ba. High pressure building in. But because that high is kind of sitting to our east, it's giving us a wraparound wind. So it's like a south-southeasterly wind, which helps for showers and thunderstorms or whatever. All right, that moves out. Got some lowering pressure there on the left side of the screen out in the Gulf of Mexico / Bay of Campeche. Okay, at the same time, I want you to notice this is May 11th. There are a couple of little storm systems off of the east coast of the United States. So there's something interesting there. We'll keep it going. Ba, 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 ba. Right there, you know, you're starting to see these little pieces in the Bay of Campeche showing up, right? Now here, I do want to take a minute and change my camera view. So you've got a lot of high pressure, little piece of lowered pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. But let's just do this for a second, okay? I want to show you too wide of an angle. Jeez Louise. United States. Okay. All right. So you've got like a nice storm system rolling off of the northeast, like right there, you know, like a low pressure area rolling off of the Carolinas. That's around the 17th. There is right there. You see that there? That little piece of energy there lines up, it's not going to be tropical this time, but it does line up with our Carolina coastal storm system. So that's kind of something interesting. We're watching that 14th through the 20th week essentially for that. Okay. So there's, something to watch on our long range calendar. But beyond that, let's go back to the tropical view here on the GFS model. All right, there we go. And most recent models showing around the 20th or so, like a little, you see that blue over Florida, like a little lowered area of pressure, nothing crazy. So the most recent run, not showing anything crazy. But I do want to point out, let me go back one model run from the 6Z to the 0Z, some lowered pressure around Florida around the 21st. And again, around the 21st, you'll notice that we get into the Florida Gulf Coast storm. Somewhere in that range, there's going to be something to watch, essentially. All right, so that's one model run back. Let's go 2 model runs back, though, right? Is it tropical? Is it not tropical? It'll be something to watch. But I do point this out just because, as we get closer and closer to hurricane season, we're going to have to start watching the long-range calendar a little bit more, and we're going to have to start watching the models a little bit more. And we're going to be doing all of that a little bit more. Suffice it to say, hurricane season now 27 days away. So, yeah, lots to watch. Thankfully, nothing overly threatening. But we're starting to get little by little closer and closer to that pattern. Okay? What's the June forecast? Allergies are still bad with the upcoming rain cleared out. I mean, we should be entering into the rainy season by June, so there's that. I haven't put the calendar together yet. I will. Good morning to you, Rita. Nancy says, moved to New York City in the late 80s. Hated it. Met Ron while there at a NASCAR function, and the rest is history. Holy cannoli, that's hilarious. I did not know that that's how that worked out, Nancy. That's funny. So funny, man. Jeannie Rowan said, so the GFS is having Bloody Marys and mimosas instead of coffee. Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah. Why are you such a butts? Oh, that's funny. I like your t-shirt ideas. That's so funny. And it's putts. Bay of Campeche drink. You know Jeannie Rowan. Let's see here. Missed it yesterday, Cindy. Did the new drought report come in? It did, yes. So pausing from the tropics, we can go over the drought monitor once more. Central Florida did improve. Okay, with all the rain that we had, Central Florida is no longer in a severe drought. So that's great. Now Central Florida is under a moderate drought, but Sumter County, Polk County getting into severe. And notice, for my brother Frank, your area is now kind of an expanded extreme drought. So that's not good. But Central Florida and East Central Florida along the shoreline looking much, much, much better. So let's take a victory when we can take a victory, right? That's the way I look at it. Laura says, I've just got to stock up on water. I'm good on supplies. Well, and this is a good opportunity to remind you, while hurricane season is right around the corner, you can head to wesh.com and get into your hurricane section. And then there you can, of course, check supply lists and all this other fun stuff. But also, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. That's my hurricane season forecast, and it gets into the kind of the mapping of where and when we think things are going to be going and moving and hot spots and all that other stuff. So, it's a great resource. I highly encourage it. Yeah, for what it's worth. Check it out. Put months and months of work into it. I was talking to our creative service director. He was like, I don't know anything about your hurricane forecast. He's like, I've seen it on TV, but I want you to give me your elevator speech. And so, I explained kind of the depths of it with him. So, it's always something interesting to chat about. I like that stuff. Okay, all right. Please don't say the Bay of Campeche. Oh, mercy, you're so funny. That makes it 4 this morning, right? We're not even in hurricane season yet. Oh, boy. What are you going to do? See you, Marie. What are we talking about, Chris? What are you saying to my brother? What? What's happening? All right, so weekend forecast looking good. Let's see. Rainy season preview kind of coming next week. What else do we have? For what it's worth t-shirts. We're going to be rich selling merch. Oh, that's Eduardo. I don't hate it. I don't hate any of the ideas. Yeah. So I have to tell you, so I've got the the governor's hurricane conference next week, and so the boss was asking about the hurricane conference, and she was just trying to get an idea of what, let me pull up the email here. She was just kind of getting an idea of what I was going to be covering and all that. And so I sent her the list. It's the list of like sessions. Fundamentals of grants management, mitigation for emergency managers, Homeland Security exercise and evaluation program, emergency planning, community mass care management, facilitative leadership for mobilizing the community, tropical meteorology, hurricane readiness, hurricane impacts, they're much bigger than the cone, extreme water hazards, beyond the Weather Service, NOAA's coastal disaster response and recovery capabilities, hurricane housing recovery and mitigation. So you get the idea. Lots of nerd stuff. She's trying to get an idea of a coverage plan, and literally her response, goodness, this all looks painful. Like, yes, it's good for the emergency managers, but like when it comes on TV, like how am I going to make it digestible to people that even don't care about weather? Because let's face it, there are several hundred of you in Coffee Talk this morning. You all are at least a little weather nerdy, but let's say that out of the people that are watching WESH 2 News, their weather nerddom is a little bit lower. So, and I told her, I got you. And I kind of gave her my ideas, my plans. So I will do my best to make it not so weather nerdy. But just for you guys, gals, to understand, and this is something that you may not realize. There's a lot of emergency managers, they're going to these sessions to make sure to be ready for hurricane season. Emergency managers, meteorologists from National Weather Service and Hurricane Center, everybody's working together. Here's a good one. The session is full on this one. Best social media practices for emergency management during hurricanes. I think that's fascinating, right? How can your emergency managers in your counties do a better job? I think that's great. Psychological first aid, helping others in times of stress. This is great stuff. Critical infrastructure resilience and community lifelines. Right? Putting pause in action. There's so many really good sessions. And so I really do think that these events are wonderful. And that's next week. And so I can't wait to tell the stories and to try and help Central Florida understand what's happening. But I think that it's kind of interesting. Cindy says, when is the hurricane special? It's like right around the 1st of June. I don't remember it. I taped one story for it. I still have one more to tape. And then I have to write them all. So I have 3 packages I have to work on. Laura, did the boss say anything about merch? I need to follow up with her. She liked the idea, but I haven't heard back. For a scholarship. I'm not pocketing money here, right? Like this, at the end of the day, this wallet is what it is. It's lighter. Since having children, there's not as much going on in there. Y'all didn't tell me that. Oh, man. Patty says, with a pool and lots of grandsons, there's a whole lot of peeing outside here rather than running through the house. Or what are we talking? What did I miss? What did I miss? We're talking about peeing outside. What did I miss? Debbie says a little weather nerdy. Us, I know, right? Like, let's face it. We are the epitome. I know I said that incorrectly, but we are the epitome of weather nerddom, and it's fine. I'm here for it. This is. You know what's funny is when I was going to school for weather, the one thing that they said was you'd never be able to talk about true weather nerd stuff. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, none of this was around when I was in school. Enter Coffee Talk. I had no idea what I had started when I had started it. Now we get to nerd out every day. And when the hurricanes are coming, we nerd out. When the severe weather's coming, we nerd out. It is a true nerd thing. And I, for one, am here for it. All right, let's see here. Just got to say, this group makes my mornings joyous. Starting the day with laughter is wonderful. Thank you, Susie. I agree. I that's why I show up. Today's my day off, y'all. That's why I show up for it. Laura says, ooh, okay, she likes the idea. We're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. And it's all about a scholarship. Like, if we can do something to help the future generations, then I am so here for it. I'm so here for it. All right, kids are expensive. There, I told you. Thank you, Bo. I'm 5 years into this parenting thing. I've kind of figured it out, yeah. Melissa, Coffee Talk is so big now because of you. Listen, it's not big because of me. I'm just here talking, y'all. It's big because you're here, and I am so grateful. And if I miss your questions, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can. But I would also furthermore say, like when hurricanes come, I feel like y'all know my feed is blasting through at a rate that I just cannot read. So I'm doing the best I can. Janice says, we've gone off track with P. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, there are some times when Alexander or Eric are like, I'm not going to make it and I have to pee. And I'm just like, Bush. We've all done it. Eric, it's Frank, Bruce, and Chris talking about pee. Of course, my brother is involved. Bruce? Chris? Yeah, it's pretty on par for all 3 of them. Oh, man. Janice says we're an awesome group. That we are. Melissa, hearing a lot about El Nino versus La Nina. Yes, we're transitioning from La Nina to El Nino, which will eventually slow down hurricane season, I think, by the end of the season. But I would go more into saying next winter, next spring, y'all. Severe weather is not going to be fun. Yeah. Rita says, like in Bluey, sometimes it's got to be a bushwee. Yeah, yes. Speaking of which, I think I'm going to see Bluey live tomorrow. Is that a thing? I think we're going to see that. That'll be a lot of fun. There's a glitch, and you just keep saying, of course, my brother. Oh, geez, Melissa. What am I going to do with you all? You guys are trying to get me fired. I'm trying to be a credible weather source here. Laura, we're a Bluey household. Us too. And I think we're going to see it live tomorrow. I think. We are the best group. Always bringing that. We always bring that sunshine, baby, even when it's not sunny. Oh, that's so fun, Rita. Okay, so that's a thing. Okay, very cool. Dana. Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law got it for my little ones for a birthday. So I'm excited. And I'll tell you this. Okay, since we're talking Bluey, I ordered on Etsy, and I don't know that it's going to come or not. I have to show you guys. It's so embarrassing. I ordered on Etsy. I hope it arrives, but I ordered this shirt on Etsy. Like the ugliest shirt you could imagine. It's supposedly on its way. I hope it shows up today or tomorrow. And if I get one use out of it, perfect. If I get multiple uses out of it, even better. Oh, man. Cindy says, Bluey Live, jealous and I don't have kids. Bluey is such a great show, isn't it? Like, I feel like you don't have to have kids to love its smart writing. That would smell so horrible. Nicole says, what would smell so horrible? What did I miss? Brian, I saw the 2023 hurricane season list name came out. I'm curious to know if any or all of the names came from last year's supplemental names list. How are the hurricane lists? Yeah, so the World Meteorological Organization publishes the 2023, 2025. They're all out there for years. It's a rotation. It's like every 6 years or every 5 years they rotate. So this is the list for 2023. And no, it has nothing to do with the supplemental list is a totally different list. But what they do is they take, for example, here's the 2022 list, and they take it and recycle it. And then if they retire names like Fiona and Ian, those names go off the list, and they bring in 2 new names for the next time that this recycles. So yeah, none of them are the supplemental lists. None of them are the supplemental list. It's on rotation. So you could already look and see what next year's storm names would be. Yeah. Any hurricane predictions yet? Yeah. wesh.com/hurricane forecast, and you can get my numbers, my dates, and all that fun stuff. But I would go so far as to say, here's the hurricane forecasts that are out. On the left column, the average number of storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes. In the middle, Colorado State University. And on the right, the WESH forecast. So when NOAA puts theirs out, I'll remove the average, and I will put the NOAA. So you'll have NOAA, Colorado State, and WESH. But yeah, there's the forecast. I'm going for an at or slightly above average hurricane season. Colorado State is going for a slightly below average hurricane season. My forecasting would dictate that we start off pretty active, and then we slow down toward the end of the season. Laura says, that shirt is perfection. My husband needs it. Debbie says, no way. That's not ugly. It's awesome. Oh, yeah. It's totally ugly. I love it. It's ugly and awesome. Is that okay? Chris says, I finished the first season of Rebels. Buddy, the first season's the worst season. And I say that as in it's good, but it's about to get so good. And don't laugh that you're watching a cartoon, because it's so good. Janice, what channel is Bluey on? We watch it on Disney Junior all the time, but it's on Disney Plus. Yeah. Chris, what about Gary's prediction? Will you add that? I feel like his numbers are identical to mine. Chris, are they any different? Jeremy and I put this together completely independently, and then like the day before we put it out, Gary had a conversation with us, and he keeps wanting to talk tropics. I've just been so busy. I actually owe him a call or a text. Let me text him now while I'm thinking about it. Hey man, still need to chat tropics. All right, but I feel like his numbers and Jeremy and my numbers are identical. Maybe it is a little different, but I don't know. I think that his numbers are identical to ours. Destiny says I'm late again. Hi, everybody. Hi, Destiny. He talked in generalities, full details coming last, I heard. Hold on. I saw hurricane season forecasts. He's calling for 14 to 18. That's us. He's calling for 6 to 8. Okay, so he's going for 6 to 8 hurricanes. We're going 7 to 9, and he's going 3 to 4 major. Okay, so we're pretty close. Yeah, that's his forecast there. Yeah. Now I have to look for Bluey and see what it's all about. It's truly, Debbie, one of the most just like beautiful shows. It's beautiful. So anyway, okay, enough Enough. Does that work? Enough? Is that okay? Be the sunshine in someone else's day, y'all. I hope you have a great one. Sorry I was not around for the afternoon coffee talk yesterday. I had to get my hair cleaned up. But I will be there today. 3:30, does that sound good to you? Works for me? All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for coffee talk. I'm going to go mow the yard. And then I've got a work lunch today. That's going to be fun with the boss. All right, I'll see y'all later. Take care. Bye.